persecuted, not abandoned, struck down but not destroyed. I'm blessed beyond the curse, for His promise will endure, and His joy will be my strength. Though the sorrow may last for a night, joy comes in the morning.
Good evening, social media. My name is Kenneth Seaman. This is part 2 of Men. Follow up. Men got to be up, stand up to the wicked. Part 2. But thankful. Our guest this evening is Brother Matthews, Brother Durrant. Let me bring on Brother Durrant at this time. Oh, disappeared. He went. Brother Matthews. Good evening, brother. How you doing? Can you hear me? Can't hear your volume.
Take them off and just talk.
Just waiting to see what's happening. Can't hear him in the volume. I'm thankful to be here for part 2 to talk to the younger man, us the older ones over 30, to give you some advice. I've been through it. I'm not much older, but I'm thankful that I'm here to give a little advice, to go through the Word of God and bring out those points that may be a help to the younger ones. Let's try Brother Durrant here. Cast 2. Ryan, can you hear me? Yes. Can you hear me, Brother Durrant? Somebody clears out. No, can't. Ryan, can you hear me? It might be. This is something clear, so it's something this is. Huh? Yeah, just straight edge. Brother Matthews, can you hear me?
Oh boy. Okay. Technical difficulties. Play song again.
Okay.
Tell me.
Can't have a little problem with the volume here. So what is this?
Take a moment and listen.
The joy of the Lord is our strength. Hallelujah. If there's ever a time to show that strength, it's now. That joy, it's now. Hallelujah. So we're going to sing that. I'm trading my sorrows. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Hallelujah. Come on, trade those sorrows. Whatever the enemy is trying to oppress you with today, lay it down. Take up the joy of the Lord. Hallelujah. Let's go. I'm trading my sorrows. I'm trading my shame. I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. I'm trading my sickness. I'm trading my sickness. I'm trading my pain. I'm laying it down.
We'll try it again. Brother Matthews, can you hear me?
You're good, Ryan.
Brother Ryan, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm got you now, sir.
Okay. Can't seem to hear Brother Matthews. Trying to tune in. Let's check it. Brother Matthews, can you hear me in the volume?
Take them off screen. Click in. Start rewind.
Okay, Brother Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Here we're going part 2.
Yeah, sure.
Until Brother
God wrote
Matthews
me
in
in.
the volume. You know,
Tell me, you and I.
you and I for now until we get the volume sorted out.
Yeah, that's
Brother
cool. That's
Matthews.
cool.
I've been going over this one, speaking of Joseph this time.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of reminded me of the same as Boaz,
Yeah.
man of integrity,
Mm-hmm.
a godly man who followed the precepts of God, who wanted to live up to the standards,
Right.
was taught, and lived up to those ways,
Mm-hmm.
kept himself pure, had opportunities, as I was reading through, to do things that he shouldn't have done,
Yeah.
that the people that all often put the things in front of him,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but he stood fast.
Yeah.
I was just reading, like I said, got it earlier, you know, relating to it, having been put in prison because of something he didn't do.
Yeah, you didn't do that.
It's a setup.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it buys some things today. People try to entrap you.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do with that entrapment depends on how it turns out.
Right.
We can use it to our advantage,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because many try to corner us
Yeah.
in all different ways
Mm-hmm.
to see what you're really made of,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know. I don't know if you have any views about that. Yeah, and
No,
you're young, but
Yeah. I mean, I'll be totally honest. There are some times where I face, like, natural problems because I'm still a human. But I'm just like, if I could just strip out of this deacon outfit or this director outfit, but I'm like, nah, man, because I can't be one way one day and another way the next. It's all about your integrity in every situation. It can't just be how are you when things are good. It's how are you, period, good or bad.
that's true.
Mm-mm.
And like I said, I'm thinking on that how his brothers, his stepbrothers,
Yeah.
you know, sold him into slavery.
Mm.
That's pretty low.
Yeah, that's rough.
You know what I mean?
They say the closest people can hurt you the most sometimes.
Yeah, they say the fleas bite you the hardest, but you're the fleas, but that's really amazing.
Yeah.
That people will even go to that level to try to entrap the stepbrother.
Mm-mm.
You know? You know, I'm looking at it and I said, that's a low.
Yeah.
And even going through how he was put in a position and became a leader.
Mm.
You're planning out for the city.
Yeah.
How your enemy got you in prison, but utilizing the gifts of God that God has given you
Yeah.
to make himself profitable.
Mm.
Well, I'm thankful that even though he has made himself profitable, but he kept his standard,
Yeah.
learned as much as he could learn.
Mhm.
Of course, all knowledge coming from the Lord.
Mm.
So he's able to take that knowledge he got from the Lord and be prosperous,
Right.
help his people. Didn't hold it up for himself.
Mm.
He put a cap in and said, I'm in with the big boss, Pharaoh.
Yeah.
I can get all the wealth I can, store it up. But no, he was thinking about his people that didn't have,
Yeah.
and open up a door where they can have a little more extra, little better position in life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you can't take it with you. You might as well share what you can.
That's true.
Mm.
You know, because many people have it,
Mm.
but they ain't gonna give it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Get it
he
yourself.
was, like I said, man that was given by God,
Mm.
allowed him to go through that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a load,
Yeah.
you know? But then to have, like I said, Pharaoh to come back to you and say, you know, help me.
Mm.
He could have said no. He might have lost his life for it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's a wise man in what he was doing,
Mm-mm.
you know, standing fast.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to bring Brother Matthews on again, see if the volume is sorted out. Brother Matthews, can you hear me? Yeah. Volume seems to be messed up. Brother Matthews. All right. Back to you and I, Brother Ryan.
All right. No problem.
But I said, Joseph being a dreamer. I was looking at that.
Yeah.
I mean, God showed him different things. People came to him for counseling, would interpret their dreams.
Yeah.
He made himself available. At first, the dreams were given. He may not understood them. But as time went on, those dreams were given. He got the interpretation where he was able to give him the real meaning of that dream. I mean, it takes time sometimes. Overnight, you just can't get it.
Yeah. That's with anything. You don't tend not to get that on the first time through or the first couple times, but it gets a little easy as you go.
Yeah. So like, I mean, even like Potiphar's wife trying to set him up. I was reading on that, like, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I ain't read her if she's a good-looking woman or not. I'm sure she was.
I would imagine.
You know what I mean? But he turned away. Like I said, went his way. Said, no. This is not for me. I got to stand on the right. And God has given me the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
He stood fast. I'm glad he didn't turn his back.
Yeah.
Because he had to. We want to have the example today of a godly man. Exactly. A man that stood fast under precious time. Even today, I see it.
Yeah, you never know what your faithfulness would. You never know what your faithfulness would do, like in the long term. Like people can sometimes be kind of short-sighted, not seeing the whole picture. But there's a reason for the test.
Yes.
It's a testimony not just for you, but for a next person who's going to be going through and say, "Oh yeah, that guy could do it." So I know he can. So I know I can too. It's not just for you.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I look back on my life as a young man. Didn't want to stay home, just doing nothing. And Brother Trot, Stephen's dad, took me on his wings, taught me plumbing. And even today, because of that, I'm able to stand and work with the kingdom because of the guidelines that I received from Brother Trot.
Right.
As a young man. I could have been doing like most others, just riding a bike up and down, causing problems in the neighborhood.
Right.
But I chose to get a job. Learn a trade. My daddy used to tease me because anybody that came to the house to work there, he said, "Y'all his labor today." Whether it was the carpenter, taller, painter, plumber, whatever.
Yeah.
I had to be the laborer. But look what the Lord has done, because today I don't just know plumbing, other trades. So just use myself as an example. Right. For today. Sure. So the gifting that he put in me from others. Yeah. Never knew. I was a quiet little young lad. Didn't say much. Yeah. But I always paid attention to what they were doing and, try to learn as much as I can learn. And today I'm able to teach a few others. Yeah. Even today I was putting out a few little seeds. Doing a little grass cutting today. Yeah. So we can, in opposition, we may think it's little. Yeah. But we can show forth. You being a music man, like I said, you can show those little ones, as I said before. Yeah. The way. Teach them those keys. I wish I knew how to play the piano.
$35, I'm got you covered.
My fingers are a bit too big for the keys, I think. They overlap too many keys at the same time, but I bless God for your gifting.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And you too.
And iron sharpening iron.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. I remember when I was younger, I got into landscaping because I didn't want to go to these summer day camps. I saw my older cousins making money working. So I said, I want to make some money too. So the only job that was available for a 12-year-old was doing landscaping with my uncle. Waking up 7 o'clock in the morning, going out cutting grass. I didn't want to do that. But then, I look back and I can do that now. I do that now around my house or around my house. So it's like, it wasn't no bad. I rather got some more sleep, but it was no bad.
Yeah, it moves us for the future. I mean, if you don't have the gift, you got to pay somebody else to cut their grass and clean up the lawn. So it was playing even back then as a young youth to teach you that you would have in your future. Right. You can teach your fellow friends about it. Right. Teach them a lesson or two. But like I said, it's gifting. It's always gifting. Sure. Got a little stuff coming in. And I'm serious. Keep God's the end in view.
Yep.
You have to keep focused because some people turn away and forget from whence they came.
Mm-mm.
The view is.
Yeah.
We keep him first.
Mm.
He'll open up doors.
Yeah.
I've seen that many times. Even for the young.
Mm.
They may be listening in or tuning in. They can learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
You may feel, oh, I'm a computer man. I don't get my hands dirty.
Mm-mm-mm.
But, you know, you have to apply yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Like
You
I
know?
said last time, even in school of YouTube, like sometimes you might not be in a situation where you can call somebody and say, do X, Y, and Z for me, you know? I mean, you know, changing the tire on the side of the road, that could happen at any time, anywhere. What are you going to do? Yeah.
It's so true.
Mm-mm.
You know, there's so many lessons we can learn. So many. You know? I'll try Brother Matthews and see if he's got it together yet.
My brother, I'm trying.
Hey, you're here, you're here.
Hey,
I can
Yes.
hear you.
I can hear you as well. Blessings. How are you, brother Duran?
Oh, very good.
Good. How about you?
Elder?
I don't know if you heard any things we were saying earlier, Brother Ryan and
I heard a little bit of that. I believe you're speaking of Joseph. I weren't sure.
Yes. Relating to Boaz, how the standard was there with him as well.
Yes.
You know, he didn't have to be how he stood up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know if you have any rules about that, Brother Matthews, about Joseph and his life.
Well, let me catch up with you. Yeah, Joseph was an esteemed man. He was a man of God. And let me catch up with you because you've been rolling right along ahead of me.
No, I was waiting for you to key in.
Yeah, I'm trying to cue in with you now. Yes.
Yeah. As they're saying, it's a man that went through much, put in prison, you know, but look, his gift of being put in prison and put it to use. The rule of the agriculture, and I was reading on it, he had to learn a lot of different trades.
Yeah, you know, he was a person, right, that people envied as well.
Yes.
You know what I mean? From a youth, they envied him because, you know, think of the coat of many colors.
Yes.
You know, and so they envied him. His brothers envied him, and he was given a gift early on in life, the dream.
Yes.
You know, and so he had a lot on his plate, even early on in life. You follow me, Brother Durant?
Oh yeah.
He had a lot on his plate. I mean, you know, I look back, could I, you know, I don't think I could bear all that. I mean, he had so much, you know, and then he had people, his own family, his own kin who envied him and said, you think you better than us, you know, and he didn't think he was better than anyone. He was humble really with it, but he just spoke, you know, what was given to him. He spoke it, you know, he spoke about his dreams and all that. But I'll catch up with you. I'll catch up with you.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like I said, I like you, I don't think I'd be able to manage in a situation like that. Like I said, but he came out on top. Because the Pharaoh took him a liking to him and gave him a lot of privileges that he wouldn't have had otherwise.
Right.
Even as a slave. How many slaves you don't have that type of privileges?
Even before Pharaoh, because he managed another house before Pharaoh.
Yes.
You know, and that gave him a foundation, because by doing that, others knew of his gifts. And even when he was thrown into prison, you know what I mean? Because he was in prison, he made even prison survive better. Even the prison productivity was higher. Even the prisoners in there knew of his greatness. You know?
That's true.
Right? I mean, how many of us can say that we can go to jail, and while we're in jail, you know, we can make the jail better?
Right.
I don't think it'd be too many.
You know? Wow.
You may be overtaken by the jail.
Yeah.
You know, but that's definitely.
And while he was in prison, and I have to speak on this because, thank you. You know, while he was in prison, the Pharaoh's top guys came. His cupbearer came there. right? And his cupbearer and was the other guy, you know, that came there. Both of them came there, and they knew of his greatness.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And people want to be, you know, came on and say, hey, you know, who's this guy Joseph? You know,
Mhm.
he made a prison grade, and even they had to give him homage.
Right, right. Yes. So he used the least to be the greatest.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, that prison ministry,
Mhm.
it was in him as well.
Yeah.
For he's touching many lives in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
showing forth like he didn't give up as a young man.
Mhm.
Like you said, the gifting was in him, and he utilized it.
Mm.
The more he utilized it, the more doors open up.
Yeah.
You know, I can imagine Pharaoh telling, "Look, I know somebody can help you." You know, they probably say, "How you can help me?" But he knew the gift that God had put on his life.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that's amazing that he's able to use him that way. But like I said, he put forward, made a difference in the future.
Mm.
You know?
The gift of interpretations, because he interpreted the dream. He interpreted a lot of people's dreams. He interpreted the cupbearer's dream.
Yes.
Because they had, both of those guys had dreams, and he interpreted both of them's dreams. And he told one of them, you know, you're gonna be beheaded. You're gonna die, and you're gonna be restored to your original position.
Right.
And you know, and this guy said, you know, one of them said, how are you gonna tell me that I'm not gonna live? You know, who are you to tell me that? And the other one was saying, well, thank you for the gift to tell me I'm gonna be restored. And that happened exactly the way Joseph said it. You know, one was restored and one was, you know, put to death. You know, and so when Pharaoh had this dream that his sorcerers and all his men couldn't, you know, all his majestic guys couldn't interpret, here comes along Joseph, little old nobody Joseph.
Right.
and but the guy that knew that Joseph could interpret was restored back to his original position.
Right, right.
He knew. And that's when he said, you know, to Pharaoh, like, look, man, here's this guy I know, but Pharaoh said, well, bring him to me. He said, he's in the dungeon, he's in jail.
Yeah, the least of it.
Yeah.
We'll point this here. Falsely accused. How did you handle this? Let's bring that thing here. Falsely accused. How do you handle this?
I'm a guy who I don't say a whole lot, but because I don't say a whole lot doesn't mean stuff don't get to me. So, I mean, I'm very comfortable with just letting actions speak for themselves. Like, I mean, truth always comes out, or even lies always come out.
That's true.
Further on down the road. So, you know, I'm just like, well, sit back and watch. Then, if you don't believe what I'm saying, now it'll prove itself in time. That doesn't mean that I'm cool with it, but you know, with the outcome, I'm just like, I'm a less stressed guy. You're not gonna stress me out with something I knew is a lie.
I had an incident myself this week where a guy accused me of being racist. Me. I said, I don't know where he gets this stuff from. You know? Me, been on the job for 26 years, never treated anybody disrespectful, and he says I'm racist. Falsely accused. You know, said what's the word he used? I'm a hypocrite. I said, people that know me, that know me, so that's not me.
You're right.
You know, he may have a chip on his shoulder, but again, it's back to being falsely accused. But I had to stand my ground. I have to still love him.
Yep.
Where I commence that. But hopefully one day he'll take those words and apologize for accusing me falsely, you know. But again, as you said, you got to stand. Got to be the example.
Yeah, even with that, when people don't apologize, I'm like, I have a very different way of thinking. I'm like, sometimes I feel silence is loud. If you don't say if you don't take that back, then I know it's like, to me, it's like in my vanity, it's like, checkmate, I'm got you covered. Like, I ain't worrying about you because you know I won that one. So I'll take it.
I see. Thank you for that, brother Matthew. How you feel about that?
Well, I'm gonna give you first of all my past.
Yes.
Back in my past, you falsely accused me. You and I want to fight. I'm not gonna kid you. I
That's
want to
the
fight
old man. The old
because
man.
that was the old man. You know what I mean? The new man is I know I have to forgive him
Yes,
because God forgave me. You know
exactly.
what I mean? So I had to forgive him. However, I say to myself now, I'm not gonna let somebody else rent space in my head
Uh-huh.
because I'm not gonna have no sleepless nights
Right.
over what you think about me. It's not what you think about me, it's what I think about myself. It's
Right.
not what you call me, it's what I answer to.
Yes, yes.
You follow me? Because see, I've come such a long way personally. So I know that if you want to accuse me of something and I haven't done it, I don't have to worry about it. Because like what Brother Durant said, my grandma used to say, what happens in the dark sooner or later come to light.
Yes, yes.
So somebody else is gonna come up and say, oh no, it weren't Brother Matthew, it was me, or it was them, or it was whoever, or the truth's gonna come out the whole story. Because see, sometimes in life, people are vindictive. Like you was just saying, Elder, God called you. I would have never dreamt someone would say that to you, Elder. You know what I mean? You go out of your way. I'm seeing you get up out your bed to go help somebody else.
Yes,
You know
yes.
what I mean? I'm seeing, and this is what my experience with you, and so when they said that they could have had issues themselves, and a
That's
lot
what
of
I think it
times,
is.
people in life have so many issues and so much pressure and so much stress, so much worry that they want to put it off on somebody else. So they're exploding on someone else when they really should take some time out and get some good counseling, seek a pastor, seek a church, seek somewhere where they can release some of that negative stuff which is in them. Because see, now in this day and age, in 2020, this year, it's been such a year that people are so stressed,
Yes.
that they don't know what to do with themselves. So they take it out, they try to take it on somebody else, which is not right. But I today I can forgive them and forget it and let it go. But I weren't always that way.
Yeah.
I weren't always that way.
That's that grace, man.
Yes. The hurting part about this individual, he don't know Christ, but they talk about his fruit. But he don't have that benefit of looking to God and saying, show me the truth. You know what I mean? I could pray for him. But if he don't know God for himself, unfortunately, he don't have that. If you look at it, an ace in the hole, one they can turn to and say, Lord, show me.
Yeah.
If y'all confused or y'all got issues within yourself and you're going to throw it all on somebody else because the way you feel, that's not being a real man.
Yeah.
And the thing speaks about man, standing up. You have to stand up being counted, But I don't hold it against him.
Yeah.
But I will be praying for him that he be enlightened on the truth. You know what I mean?
And do you know, Elder, a lot of times that same individual, right, will come and he'll need your assistance.
That's already happened. But he forgets. He forgets. And it weren't that long ago I helped him. And I'll still help him. So I'm not gonna hold a grudge. I go to sleep. I sleep good every night. Because like you said, I'm not gonna take that to my bed and hold on my mind. Like you said, occupying his space in my mind. The blessings that God has given to me, I can turn back on him. It's been faithful. I'm gonna be faithful, and be a man. And it takes a man to stand up. I could have been toe to toe with him.
Right.
But again, I had to be example, even though he called me a hypocrite. That's him. You know what I mean? But that's where it's at. We are making a difference and making it count for the future. That's what the point was on in this next one here. See? Make the present count for the future. It all have to be that day. Today, like I said, the last days, we've seen a lot happen this year, as you said. That never would have dreamt. Even to travel on certain areas now, you got to have the vaccine. You're not allowed to go on that plane. Who would have dreamt? Just a year ago, haven't been on the same airline. Now, if I want to go on the airline again, I'm going to take this vaccine.
Elder, I'm going to give you one that I told someone the other day. I said, a year ago, if you would have wore this mask in public or went in the store, they would have arrested you.
Exactly.
Some of the masks, they would have locked you up there to call the police.
Yes.
Now, if you walk in the store without it, they call it the police.
Exactly. You get fined $500.
Yeah, you know. So that is the contrast, but that only speaks of going back to the scriptures. This is the last days.
Yes.
As we can see, these where it speaks about it in St. Matthew, the 24th chapter, about pestilence and earthquake. If we looked at this year alone, how many tsunamis, how many earthquakes around the world? We're just a lot of times just dealing in our own little world here in Bermuda. Bermuda's another world, and we encompasses just that. But let's look at it on a global scale, on a scale around the world, because this is going around the world, because the whole world came to a standstill. Never before in the history of man has the whole entire world come to a standstill over a pandemic. Over anything, not even the world wars, not even World War I, World War II. Other countries still survived and still kept going on like normal. But this brought the world to a sense. It opened up and so we have to now know that there has to be a God. Without a shadow of doubt, there has to be a God, because it's been foretold. Our great ancestors in this word of God told us these things are going to come to pass. So we can look back on it and say today that, hey, and it's near.
That's true.
And it's near.
Yeah, that's true. You see the signs everywhere. I mean, you're seeing young ones stealing from their mama, the dad, the one that raised them, changed their dirty diapers, fell and they're gonna take money out of their pocket and feel no way.
Yeah.
Where's the shame?
There is.
People steal from the church and don't feel any way about it. It's the old time low. It's like morale is door. Talking
about what we were talking about last week is no respect for the order or the decency of how things go. Like, it's not right to steal from anybody, but
exactly
your own kinfolk, your own like it's almost lawlessness now. Like, we're just our own gods.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody this week, and people are taking advantage. Senior in the 80s, people have taken advantage of them. I feel like beating myself to jail. I wasn't taking something from a senior like that, and it's amazing how low people will go. Like just don't care about anybody.
Yeah.
Morale is out.
Yeah.
This would happen this week. I was outside. Elder, in the morning, you can't park a car in front of the Bank of Butterfield before 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
This young man was parked his car.
Yes.
The warden came up and said, "Is this your car?" To the young man. He ran out and said, "This is my car." And she says, "Well, could you kindly move it?" He said, "Can I go inside and get my card?" She says, "You shouldn't have left it in there. You shouldn't be parked there." He said, "Don't talk to me like that." I looked at him and I said, "Young man, she could give you this ticket."
Exactly.
She don't have to say anything to you. She's giving you and you are disrespecting this lady who is old enough to be your mother.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, who are you to talk?" I said, "I'm only explaining something to you, But she gave him a break. But he started talking to her. She should talk to me like she didn't say anything out of order. He was so far off the deep end that he didn't even realize it.
Right.
So further down by Royal Gazette, I stopped. I pulled my truck over and I said to her, I said, "You're a good lady." I said, "I understand that he disrespected you. I want you to know that God's going to bless you no matter what. You done the right thing and you did walk away. But you could have given him that ticket." She says, "I know I could have." I said, "You could have gave it to him no matter what. Right. Disrespected you." So I try to help build her back up, her self-esteem back up, because I know that at her in her heart, here's this young man, and he was a young man. He was no older than about 24, 25 years old. She told him, "Look, see the sign? He's had the sign been there for 20 years. Here's just a door penny." So he knew better. But even in his wrongdoings, he's trying to justify that to make it right.
It's the lawlessness. It's the lawlessness. Like, people, you could show them stuff or talk to your blue in the face. It doesn't make a difference. What I want right now is what's gonna happen right now. And anybody else getting in my way, then I'll rule you over too. It could be grandma or auntie or the police warden or whoever. It doesn't make a difference. I'm seeing that plenty of times.
I agree with you, Brother Durant. And they're trying to make wrong right.
Yeah.
They're trying to justify their bad behavior. They're trying to minimize it, rationalize it, and all the bad behaviors. And you can't do that.
No.
You just can't do that. And so often I try to step in, and sometimes I have to be careful and very astute the way I do this, stepping in, because some of these young men are so angry.
Oh yeah.
And they're so, they're ready to just blow. They're like a powder keg with a short fuse at that. So you have to be careful and be tactful, and I try to do that, say, the lady could have given you a ticket. She was just trying to help you out to let you know that. Because suppose, and I said to him, suppose her boss came along and she didn't give you that ticket. She could lose her job for letting you, So we have to understand how the plight of someone else, it's the old saying, you don't know how it is until you walk a mile in my shoes. Or Indians used to say, you got to walk a mile in my moccasins. We don't know how someone else feels until we're in their position or their shoes. And how did that lady feel? How did that traffic warden feel? You know what I mean? Right? She felt humiliated because was other people in front of the bank, and she felt hurt, and she was just doing her job. She wasn't doing nothing out of the ordinary. She was just doing her job, and she was giving him a break. That's what really, really got next to me. She was giving him a break. So I said, how many times in life have we been given a break? How many times in life did God give us a break? How many times did God give us a second chance? I often say a second chance in one lifetime, and that's just such great stuff, man, so you just got to carry the message, just carry the message.
Just looking at a little chat here. I got Sister Tyra says, remember who gave you the gift? The gift of God. Like I said, that woman, like I said, she could have gave that guy a ticket. But he don't realize the benefit of her stopping, taking her time out. Like I said, they can write. In fact, I'm seeing them pull up, watch somebody get out of the car, and as soon as they leave, the back's turned, they got a ticket. He don't know how blessed he is not to receive a ticket.
Right.
Yeah. That's $75. That's just $75 he's trying to take out the bank probably.
You got to go right back here and get some more money and pay the ticket right away. But
right.
I'm going to say for the young ones, I'm hoping they're listening and gleaming from this. We give them some pointers that they can have that patience. You know what I mean? And somebody's trying to help them, and they don't even realize the help is there. They just see they're picking on me.
Yeah.
I mean, no. As a young man, like I said, I've always listened. People see me around. I like being around the older people. I can glean from them, listen to conversations, ask them questions. They probably thought, what this guy asked me these questions? But I was taking it in like a sponge.
Yeah.
And today I can give out. Hopefully to some of those young people that may not have. Like I said, and God has blessed me in that way. I'm thankful. That note just came in. How do we help the young people today that don't know the Bible? What, Brother Ryan?
First, with me, because I work with some young people and I try to talk with them. I try to find out where they're at, first of all, because if I try to shove the Bible down their throat, whatever, like, they're going to start rejecting it. They're going to turn away from it. So, I might pose a question to them. Hey, you believe in God? Just throw it out like that. You believe in God, and see where it comes back from. But I really want to touch on something you said, patience, a little while ago, right? And that, because that was real key with me.
Yes.
Because I didn't have a lot of patience, but I remember my grandmother used to say, and this was just the saying she used to say, was patience is a virtue, and only good things come to those who wait. I used to say, what she mean by that? But as I got older, I understood what she meant.
Yes.
Yeah. So saying that, a lot of them don't have patience. So therefore, if they don't have patience, how can you throw something at them that they had an opportunity to read for themselves?
Right.
Yes.
So do I push the Bible on them? No, I don't push it on them. I gradually work it in conversation. And you will be surprised how many of them believe in God. They don't know what he really says, but they believe that there's something. They might say, oh yeah, there's got to be a power stronger or a higher power, or they might use all that type of stuff, right? I say, well, how do you think creation came about?
Mhm.
Ain't that Big Bang theory that they tell you, you know? I
Yeah.
said there has to be something that created all of this.
Right,
You know,
right.
it has to start. I say if you take numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, starts at zero, starts at nothing, and something had it created. So I bring it in on them like that, and
Right.
believe it or not, before it's over, I say to them, look, hey, why don't you come to church with me? I said, just come a couple of times, and you can make up your mind from there. You know what I mean? And most of them's granny or grandmother or grandfather or great grandmother, great grandfather
Mhm.
was raised in the church,
Yes.
but they had that fire and brimstone type of teachings back then, you
Mhm.
know. And you know, if you don't do right, God's gonna strike you down, and you know, and that used to scare me when I was a kid. But as I
Mhm.
got older, I understood what they really meant was, you know what I mean? If you're doing wrong, you know, wrong's gonna follow you. But if you do right, right's gonna follow you. That was a fire and brimstone that they was trying to tell me, you know what I mean? But I couldn't comprehend it back then. But this with the young folk today, it's very difficult to just push it on them. You got to
Mhm.
ease it in on them and talk to them about it and let them and convince them to make up their own mind. You know, give them the information.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, without any information and just a little bit of information is a dangerous thing. But if you give them the correct and right foundational information, they
Mhm.
can make up a good decision. A lot of them make up a good mind.
Right.
And a lot of them have a lot to offer. That's the thing
Yes.
about it. They have a lot to offer. Our new generation young men and young women have a lot to offer because they're very
Mhm.
talented. I
Mhm.
have a problem with my cell phone. I go to my grandchild and say,
Yes. Yeah.
she's 12 years old. And she say, her papa,
Yeah.
son.
Right.
You know? And I love that, you know, because they love to come to church with me. You know what I mean? So as often as
Mhm.
I can bring them, I'll bring them. You know, I can't wait till all this pandemic's over because
Right.
they want to. And that's the generation that we need to check. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, yes. But I'm looking out for my young men right here at home in Bermuda. You know,
Mhm.
we have so many of them that are so lost, and it hurts me. It brings me to tears. Time really it does because I see them all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I
With
try to
that.
drop a little seed on my job even, you know. So sometimes it gets all rowdy up. I say, hey, take it easy, man. You know what I mean? Watch your temper. But again, I don't try to force the gospel on them, but I try to live the life around them that they see
Right.
is different. They can see that someone else is controlling my life.
Mhm.
You know, I even make mention sometimes how the job is blessed to have Christians in there. They may not realize it. You know, there's a few of us in there as Christians. But they're being blessed because it just as they being in prison ministry. If there's it. Others were blessed because he stood this ground.
Yeah.
So I've been like lights in a dark world, you know. I mean, like I said, you just can't go and shove it down their throat. They ain't gonna have that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely not. Nobody wants that.
Yeah. You say
Yeah.
something about right?
Yeah. No, it's like not saying nobody wants that, but like I remember it was this guy at my old job. I mean, his knew me, his seen me around for I'd say about maybe 3 years at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
there was one particular day he came up to me and said, "I thought it was something different about you." And this guy I've never spoken to in my life. Like I just knew him in passing.
Yes,
And
yes.
I was like, "Well, where you know me from?" Because outside of work, I'm never seeing this guy. So he says, "I turned on channel 24. I knew it was something different about you. I saw you preaching." I was like, "Oh, geez, like you never know who's watching when and where."
That's
Like
true.
imagine he saw the service I preached on a Sunday, and then the next day at work he saw me doing something
Carrying
on
on.
sports. Like so he'd be like, people could spot a fake a mile away. So
Yes, yes.
it's not always what you say is what you do. Like you got to carry yourself in that integral spirit at all times because you never know if what you do in this particular moment has ramification for somebody else in the future. I don't want to
That's true.
stop anybody's blessing or anybody's current time or anybody's time because
Yes.
I dropped the ball. Like then I'm gonna answer to that. No, I ain't trying to do that.
No, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting back to this capture song. It says, saving for a rainy day. What advice you have for the young people? So they're working.
Well,
Put
if
aside for the
2020
rainy
hasn't
day.
taught you, if 2020 hasn't taught you to save for a rainy day, then I don't know what will. But I can't say it was my dad who taught me, but I remember hearing plenty of times when I was young, save 6 months rent just in case, or save 6 months car note just in case, because you never know. I mean, like I said, if you don't know by now, I don't know what else to teach you. So
Yeah.
it's always good to have a plan. Like you can't just be like, I'm gonna try this week. Like it's no, you have to be guided by something. Like I understand things come up, but it's always best to have a plan in place for anything that you do, whether it be car, whether you're trying to go over to school, whether it be whatever, buying a house. You can't just go in willy-nilly and say, I hope this works, and then when it doesn't, you're mad at everybody else. Like, no, take that responsibility on yourself. Like, that was you that went in unprepared.
Yeah, even as homeowners, we have to be realizing that you can't take our tenants for granted. Some people, don't worry about it. But especially they don't put the rent in.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're gonna have a little something put aside to cover them until such time as they do put up the rent.
Definitely.
I heard people say all the time, "You're lucky you got a house." Bills come with that house.
Right.
Upkeep, maintenance. That's putting aside for the rainy day. Your roof has got to be painted. Your walls got to be painted.
And how if you got a mortgage?
yeah. Well, that's top of the list.
Okay, brother Duran, you said something a little while ago. Actions speak louder than words. People used to say a whole lot of stuff with actions. Like you said, they watch what you do more than they listen to what you say. They watch what you do. Right? That's one thing. And the other thing, you said that my granny, I often go back to my grandmother and grandfather because they were my idols. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I say idols, like I astute to be like them. They were definitely all of that to me. Right? My grandmother used to say, because she was the brains, she used to say, a penny saved is a penny earned. I used to wonder what she meant by that. Well, because back then a penny was a lot of money. One penny was a lot of money.
Right.
I'm going way back now. But what she meant was if you saved it, you had it for a rainy day. But if you didn't save it, you had nothing.
Right.
That's what she was teaching me back then. Save something. If you made, and how I remember my uncle used to go out and he used to make 21 shillings. And he didn't even, that was his paycheck. And he didn't spend it. He had to bring it home first. And this is my uncle now. Like 5, 6 years old. And I used to watch, he used to bring it home, put it on the table. And my grandmother used to take some of it and give him maybe a couple shillings, 5 shillings or whatever it was. And she used to bank the rest. But when he got married, she had enough money to buy. He had bought him a house.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So she was smart. She was in brains.
Yes.
That's how they did. A penny saved is a penny earned. So that's what was that. So today I would tell the young people, if you got a job and you're out there and you're living home with your parents, go home and give your parents something, help out with the household and put something aside.
Yes.
Put something aside. So that
you can have other people do that. They will save it up.
And the older folks, they had gift clubs. They, I remember Laughlin's Hole. I don't know if you guys remember Laughlin's Hall up Carver Pass. My grandma and I used to stay up City Hill. My grandma used to make me walk over there and take a few shillings over to Laughlin's Hall. But I remember at the end of the year, she'd get all this money. And I didn't know. But, as I got older, she said, this is yours.
Yeah, her comment here.
Mine for carrying all them groceries up to Miss Jones, Miss Smith, hold during the nights, everything else. And when I got Miss Smith, I'll take eggs over to Miss Watson and all. But that was what was happening back then.
It's good training. Like I said, I would like for more men to train those young ones that way. Train on the way, so they will have it. I mean, if you just spend it all, man.
Yeah.
And but they're hoping to get an inheritance from the parents or grandparents.
For putting in what work.
They might outlive us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember when I was in school, in my first year, I was young and foolish, and I got a phone. I was texting all my friends back in Bermuda and going out, blah 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 blah. So at the end of like my first semester, I'm looking at my card. I ain't got no money on my card, so my dinner became vending machine snacks, Skittles and chips and water from the tap. all my other Canadian friends out there eating meals and stuff that I'm saying, nah, I'm gonna have these chips and this Sprite. So I said from then and there, I said that's never gonna happen to me again. I'm gonna sort my finances out because this is an ugly feed, and I only had that experience for maybe 2 months. I said, nah, never again.
It was a learning experience.
I don't claim to be some rich man now, but I'm definitely not. I learned from that experience.
Like, sometimes he allows us to go on, loot,
exactly.
so we can come up. You know, and you got a testimony. You know, like I said,
rock bottom. They call it rock bottom, brother Durant. Rock bottom.
Rough.
Rock bottom. Hit the bottom, and the only way to go is what up.
Yeah, some people say peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because they ain't got no money.
Yeah,
that was a staple that would keep you until you got some more dollars in your pocket. And
I'm a picky eater to make it worse, so I couldn't just eat anything. I was like, well, I know I definitely like Snickers and potato chips, so can't even afford no burger and off like that. It was just whatever's in the vending machine, you're eating that.
Yeah. Like I said, sometimes you go wait on. Wait on, so you can come way up.
It reminds me of the story of the prodigal son. See, he got his money, right? You know what I mean? He ran out, he ran all over the place, wild women and song and all that. And then when he didn't have no money, all his friends kicked him to the curb. All his friends that he thought was friends, they went and left him. And then he was in the pig pen, eating the slop, eating the same slop that the pigs eat. Now, I don't know if you know what pigs, but pig pen don't smell too good, right? Okay. But he remembered one thing, in my father's house.
And a lot of servants, he said. High servants.
That's right. You know,
and
that's the same thing. Yeah, he humbled himself and he went back home. But that's how God is with us. You know what I'm saying? We go out and we do all this bad, and God said, yeah, well, you know, if you realize we still here for him, and we come back. And he blesses us abundance over and beyond what we can receive. He said he'll open up heaven and shower more blessings than we're able to receive. And I talk with my friends, I say, more than we can conceive, because God is so magnificent. It's more than we can even imagine. He'll give us all that and more. All we got to do is just praise him, worship, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness. And he didn't say some. He said all these things can be added to you. I mean, come on, Elder. I mean, you know, he's gonna give us everything our heart desires. Wow, we serve a mighty and gracious God.
You know, a young man that was in the church. God opened up doors for him, provided him work, and he left the church. Left the blessing that he received. He saw the blessing. It was made known to him, and you're gonna leave it. Like really?
A lot of times we forget where that actual blessing came from. And like it weren't because of you. You might have the degree and all that type of stuff, but like I mean, when God's favors on your life and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, there is no limit to what God's gonna bless you with. So I hope it's doing all right, but you know.
Well, from what I'm hearing, like I said, and a certain brother reminds him, what happened, man? You was doing good.
Yeah.
You left the blessings of the church. I mean, in his profession, I ain't gonna say what it is, but in his profession, got many people in the church that could have put him to work, and it's guaranteed money. It's a profession where you need all the time. Right. But he goes outside of it. He goes outside there. Like I said, once you left, it's gonna be hard to get back. Right.
You know, God would take them talents and give it to somebody else, you know. You know the story of the talents.
Yes.
Talents and give it to somebody else. Because see, God's word is not going to be buried in no sand. It's not going to be buried. He'll tell you to give it to somebody else and let somebody else carry the message.
That's you know what I mean?
Yeah, put somebody else to work. You know, and see that's what these stories in the Bible tell us. They enlighten us to these things, and we have to realize that, and that's why we have to share our experience, strength, and hope with the young men, so that we can bring them along, so that they can see it. And like what you're saying, Brother Durant, you know what I mean? They can see what we're doing, and they want to follow us. You know what I mean? Because you, Brother Durant, are going to be able to influence one young man. One young man's going to be able to influence another young man. That young man's going to, and before we know it, we have a whole lot of young men. Right. And that's what this thing's really all about.
That's
You know,
true.
right?
Iron sharpened
That's
iron.
what I try to do today. I mean, I'm not always been like that, but today, you know, because God has given me a second life in one lifetime, you know, it's blessed me over and beyond what I could even imagine, right, or conceive. You know, I try to share that with somebody else. I try to share that with another young man. You know what I mean? Don't make the mistakes that I made. You know what I mean? I tell them about my errors and my mistakes, but, you know, look at what it is today. You know what I mean? Right? And how, you know, you can be called elder, or you can be called deacon, or you can be called mister, instead of some other names that they call, and which I wouldn't even bother to say that they call each other in the street.
Right.
You know, right?
I'm just going to a few of these little captures on there. Some comments were so true. What we're saying. Join us. Somebody was saying. That's right. So they're picking it up. Mankind is lost without God. That's somebody pointers here. There's a few others on here. Just go over for lawlessness. Somebody said amen to what we're saying. Yes, we need more mature men to help and guide the younger ones. We have to be the example, because some of them don't get it at home. If they don't get it at home, they may get on the job, in the workplace. Pastor Seaman said, be real. Remember that common direction. You have to remember that God is a leader. He's going to direct us. This is some comments coming in. Some other ones, let's take a quick look. What a blessing, it says. Again, we have to be the example.
Yeah.
Because they ain't reading the Bible.
No.
Some of them don't even know what the Bible is. But they're reading us.
Yep.
Like a book.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like you both were saying, we got to be steadfast in what we do. Not wishy-washy. You know, somebody said to me, "Oh, it's smiling." I said, "Well, God is in me. But seeing comes out." You know, some people get mad they see you happy. Why you all so happy? What you mean? I mean, like I said, what's in will come out.
Yep.
If you're miserable, it's gonna show in your countenance. So we have to be steadfast for the younger ones that's looking at us, that they one day can stand before their children and say, I learned it from an older chap, or, you know.
Yep.
And your final remarks, Brother Matthews? Time is gone.
Time goes so fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're having fun and sharing the blessings of the Lord.
Yeah, and you know the Bible says, "Whenever two or three gather together in my name, so shall I be in the midst." He's in the midst of us now. It's three of us. He's in the midst of this, and because he's in the midst, he's blessing. He's blessing this, you know. And but what I want to say is that I think that we can continue to do what we're doing, continue to reach out and try to help the young men, and you know, and bring them in, let them know, and let them be, you know, a part of something, because they're so in the streets and they don't know who they are. They lost their identity. They lost who they are. So they need some identity. And that's what happens a lot of times. They have nobody. They have no one. They have no male figure in their life.
Yes,
you know, be a big brother, be a role model, be a mentor, be whatever we can be, you know, at this stage, because they're lost. And, you know, now that I'm saved, I am responsible and accountable to do the right thing, to help them, you know, because if not, it's going to be charge me for not doing that. And I will be charged for that. And I don't want to get up there in that great day. And the Lord says, well, you didn't talk to so-and-so. You had the opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want that on my head. So
No.
So I'm gonna do my part. You know, I'm gonna definitely do my part. So if anyone that is hearing me and they need, you know, someone to talk to or whatever, you know, call me or call someone or try to get a hold of me, because I will come wherever you are in this little island that we live in. I will definitely get up and come. You know.
Thank you, Rob Matthews. Durrant, you got any final words?
Yeah, I mean, my hope is that people, you know, glean from people who have been through things. I remember back in my little church, we had, I can't remember how old I was, but I remember I was paired with an older gentleman in church, Father Peter Smythe, and he was telling me, you know, like about his experience as a young guy and what drew me to him, really. And it might not be cool for everybody, but he had a tattoo on his arm, and I was like, it was like a little crest of something. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, what's that from? And he was telling me about his time, you know, as I'm
War.
doing sailing, in war and stuff. Like, he was telling me about all that, and I was like, this guy's Chris. So, the more he was telling me, the more I was just like, that's cool, because I want that tattoo. But everything he was telling me, it was kind of sticking with me. So
Yes.
you never, it might not be a person that you would look at initially and say, yeah, I want to be like that guy. Like, but the more they start talking, the more everybody starts opening up to each other. You're like, oh, I could learn that lesson from that person. So it might not be the most natural thing at the beginning to go out and just start a conversation, but it's gonna be some pretty interesting dialogue that will come. I mean,
Yes.
this is the most I've ever spoken to brother Matthew, and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, we pass each other. We just
Yeah.
in common. The love between us is already there because we elbow butt and all that, and so but because we know each other, we have one thing in common. That's God.
Right, for sure.
That's true.
For sure.
Yeah. So, like I said, iron sharper than iron.
That's right.
So, like I said, we don't share it. You may have something I need. You give a testimony. I may have been going through something. You gave a testimony. There's no strength in me, so I can go through. So he can make it. I can make it too. That's why we should share among each other. Like I said, but we have to be in that place to be able to share. If you're not in the place, you're not a Christian. You're not going to understand everything we're saying.
Right.
So I invite even a young man that may be listening in to give your heart to the Lord. It's not going to be easy all the time, but you will have God to work on your behalf. That source of strength. So I'm thankful for both of you, Brother Matthews and Brother Durrant,
yes, sir.
for taking our time this evening to join and to give your nuggets, as it were, to the under 20s, that they see that it's real. They may think that you got a bed of roses, or here's some illustrations where it's not so, but God, you know. So I'm thankful this evening. Glad to have you on there one more time.
Sir,
Right to close out. Thank you again, Brother Matthew.
Thank you for having me.
It's a joy. Brother Durrant, likewise.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Have a blessed one. God willing, tomorrow morning.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
God willing, I'll be there as well.
All right. God bless you.
Likewise. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yes, social media, I'm thankful for you joining us this evening. Trusting that something that was said, discussed, that you enjoyed it, that you learned from it, that you can give to even the younger ones that may not know. Some of the older ones may have some direction, haven't listened to the brothers discuss this evening. Prayerfully, you have learned, and you can direct somebody. Thank you. Until next time, blessings abound.